Yes, can I help you?
Sometime later, I was visiting Ciero's shop in Folca. You have my payment from Shanae and Heimel?
Sure do. It's a big one, so take good care of her.
From behind the counter, Ciero pulled out a canvas displaying the world's cutest girl. Clear skin, dewy eyes, and a mischievous smile, all framed by soft golden locks. Utter perfection.
Not that I have to explain it to you. Lots of folks have said they'd like to buy this pretty picture. I had to fight off all the amateur art collectors.
Of course. Who wouldn't want a portrait of me? Though I was the only one worthy of owning such a masterpiece.
I was surprised to hear you knew Lady Shanae. Must be a fancy lady, being a master and all.
Wait, master?
Indeedy! Youngest artist declared a master in a good long while. She's really made a name for herself in the market. Here, just got this piece in today.
I had seen it before. It filled me with a resonant vitality, just as it had in that cozy little studio. But now it was accompanied by a price tag of a whopping 5 million rupees. I think I'll add this one to my collection. In all my years of filling vessels with spirits, I had never procured an object with as much soul as Shanae's painting. I had to have it.
Are you sure? That's my biggest budget breaker.
I laughed. A few million rupees for a miracle? Chump change. Unbeknownst to Ciero Carte, I got away with the steal.
Now I just had to track me down a living, swimming myth. Couldn't be that many lakes harboring legends, right? Turns out there were few eyewitness accounts of such fish. Guess they didn't like flashing their scales as much as the fisher god. But I knew they had to exist. Why would he make up the challenge? So back to Ciero we went. She kindly asked the Fishermen's Guild and scholars to lend their assistance. They told us of a potential target. A beautiful fish, said to have the loveliest iridescent scales in the world. But it had never been caught, so it had yet to receive a proper name within academia. As if to tempt me more, we learned the locals called it the jewel fin. Catching it would be like grabbing a cloud, but the more I heard, the more I needed it. Surely it was a fool's errand. Too bad I was beside myself with determination. A being that existed somewhere between reality and rumor, I had to catch me some of that. Thus, in the coming days, whenever I found a semi-reliable lead, I would fly to the spot and cast my line. Went to salt lakes where a sip of the water would dry you to the bone. Wandered around underground streams where you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And then every place in between. The captain, Lyria, and Fern accompanied me on my flights of fancy, but they grew tired of the pace. I wouldn't force them. I had planned to make the trip alone anyhow. All I wanted to do was find the unfindable, to catch the uncatchable. It was a good sign, honestly. They say anticipation exists right before accomplishment. Take a new sword technique. You only perfect it the day before a duel. A consequence of pre-battle nerves sending your noggin into overdrive. And this fish-off was a duel to the death for me and the fisher god. It would be the accomplishment of the century for any who live by the rod. I was having the time of my life. But I knew I didn't have forever. We were in this skydom for a reason, and that mission had to take precedence. I decided my next search would be the last. It brought me to a labyrinthine jungle, which had claimed many adventurers in the past. I heard that somewhere inside was a spring turned monster den. One look at its bewitching twinkle would be enough to drive a man mad, and he'd throw himself into the pool to be swallowed. Relying on those exaggerated claims for guidance, I braved the forested depths to discover not a glorious spring, but a regular old bog. Ugh. Ain't no legendary fish ever lived in a place like that. But still, I cast my rod, and Vern and the captain waited with bated breath as they watched me bobber-a-bobbin'. The swamp remained quiet. I was neither overcome with anticipation nor bored from inaction. I was part of the stillness, and my rod was my connection to it. I was one with nature and leap and liver fish a bite. I tugged the fish to the surface and began to tear up as the most perfect, lustrous twinkle broke the murky waters. Turns out none of the scholars' descriptions were quite right. But this was it. This was the jewel fin of legend. How's this for a catch? I proudly displayed the jewel fin before the fisher god. Its scales glistened in iridescent waves, unreal in their beauty. Its fins ethereal and transparent, waved as if kissed by a breeze. That old coot was flabbergasted.
Slap my behind! Where in the seven skies did you find this?
That was a delicious reaction. But of course, the fisher god was a fisherman of taste, and he had a rebuttal prepared. It was a large fish, obsidian in color, whose scales seemed to drink the light like a void. Its dorsal was strong and stiff, as if to mark it as a sea king.
Whoa! 2 legendary fish? Isn't that nuts?
Both of our catches fit the criteria of the competition. It was gonna be too hard to call. Guess we couldn't complain, though. Not every day we got to see such rare specimens. Still, something had to be done. So we turned to Lyria, Vern, and the captain.
I think both are amazing. I've never seen such pretty fish. Can't we just say you're both incredible and be done with it?
Guess 2 legendary fish don't make a champion, especially when we were both set on wearing the crown. Nope, it didn't sit right with me. Our rivalry pushed the craft of fishing forward, hadn't it? There was fire in our guts, and we deserved to name a proper victor. Vern saw the determination plain on our faces.
You guys aren't gonna let this go, are you? Game's back on, then.
Lyria pondered for a moment and made a suggestion.
How about whoever fishes up the most happiness? That could be interesting.
A genius suggestion. This island was under Avia's control, terrifying the population. It would be a saintly move to give them cheer with a side of full bellies. It was settled. We would go with Lyria's suggestion. He who could bring the most happiness to the island would take it. After a nod to one another, the fisher god and I set out to do some real fishing. cruising, folks. Hope we come across a good fishing spot.
In this blizzard, how are you gonna even see your rod?
Ancient technique.
Hey, why don't you cast from the bridge? You'll probably catch something.
Not a bad idea. Let's give it a whirl. My line ain't reaching from here anyway. Come on, let's move. There's a path somewhere around here that goes down. I can hear running water. You think this here hole has a river at the bottom? We're just looking to fish. What if you want to be a sushi platter? Step right up.
Understood. Right where we want 'em.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yes, you're right.
It's cracked for ya. Come on, tadpoles. Firing. Couldn't have done it without you. Can't get back that. Come on. Real opportunities enough. Keep those sleeves rolled up.
You have so much energy, old man.
Can fish even live in weather this cold?
The colder the weather, the fatter the fish. Make some good barbecue.
Oh, that's neat. You learn something cool every day.
Hook 'em back.
Look at us.
Ah, yeah. Quit trying to butter me up. One more. Now you're in the deep end.
Take 'em. This one's
Say your prayers.
Teach 'em.
This crew just can't be
Stay
beat.
focused.
Ooh, that spot looks swell. This place is perfect. Let's get started.
Oh, the crab. Looks like the monsters caught our scent.
Curse their timing. I'll clean them up right quick.
On the offensive.
You got it.
Fall! Don't let up.
Try to keep up. Be swift in the minnow. Swoop up. It's curtains for you. How's about we end it? Keep up. Let's school you. Hey, what's got you all slack-jawed, Sonny?
Sure of that.
I wouldn't be so sure. Looks like we got a big fella in our hands
We
tonight.
don't have time for this.
Yep. And judging by his bad attitude,
Appreciate it.
I don't think it's gonna let us leave without a fight.
It's right there.
Now, this here's a sight for sore eyes. Sorry, Bub. You're between us and our fishing spot. Yep. Reel him in. No running for me. Smell you later. We broke that sucker clean off. Just testing you. It's taking all that damage. But that hasn't slowed it down a bit. Better try to finish it off before we get it caught. Played like a bitter. It's good for ya.
Got you covered.
Well, it's run out later. Really?
I know.
It's good for ya.
Oblivion Ball! Get in there!
And out. The shadow creep. And and none shall escape the cover of its shroud. Dust to dust! That was a good one. Got my chest and arm all warmed up. Oh, I hope we didn't scare off the fish. Oh boy! I'm ready to get down to the pond. Results day had arrived. Residents of Seed Hollow were gathering, waiting to see what bounty we could share.
Feast your eyes. I have caught the elusive brave scale.
The Fisher God took to the podium. The largest fish in this skydom strung up behind him. The crowd was wowed by the sheer scale of the thing, and I was no exception. Should have known he'd come out with rod blazing. But I, on the other fin, took a different approach. Behold! All these humble shellmen who make their home in these very rivers. I sure wasn't gonna win through size, but maybe superior numbers would do the trick. Next, the Fisher God and I began to fillet our catches, sharing sushi, soup, and ceviche of all sorts with the crowd.
The Brave Beam is delicious. And how do you beat that impact?
The shellman is just as good. It's so fresh and it's been served at the optimal temperature. Absolutely perfect.
Everywhere we looked, there were people enjoying our efforts. Even the crew were getting their fill while they could. But since it was a competition, next up was evaluations. Members of the crowd were to vote on whose catch made them feel better, both in flavor and in general happiness. One after the other, the votes piled up for the Fisher God. It was starting to look hopeless. But there was a special reason I chose to serve the shellman. I wasn't panicking just yet.
Shall we call it there, friend?
I gotta hand it to you, Fisher God. You served some delicious fish. But let's see how it plays out. While I was talking, a cute little scamp, snot running down his nose and everything, cast a vote for me.
You didn't want to vote for the big fish, sweetie?
It was too big and scary. I like the small fishies.
The Fisher God's breath caught for a moment, and I knew he understood my plan.
Hello there.
The Fisher God bowed his head and admitted I was the winner. But before I could humbly accept his withdrawal, Vern voiced honest confusion.
Looking at the votes, you're the clear winner, aren't you?
Not at all. Without this master of the rod opposite me, these results wouldn't have been possible.
He spoke from the heart. Moved me a bit to hear that he understood me through and through.
It's ordinary fish, ones we consume daily, that bring us health and happiness. Delicacies shine because they're a rare treat, but well-being is built on something more than rarity. Hearing that youngster speak, I understood what Yodarha was trying to tell me. The fact I couldn't surmise for myself is proof of my hubris.
He continued.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, a child's smile will do more for a village's well-being than all the legendary fish in the sea. That's what I should have been aiming for.
A smirk sat on his lips as he turned to me.
Congratulations, Yodarha. Even had I won this competition, I concede in our fish-off. You are the rightful victor. I've learned much from our duel. I thank you from the depths of my heart.
Never in my days had I met a more worthy gentleman. And you, good sir, help this old minnow rediscover his love of the sport. After the voting had concluded, the townsfolk were still savoring our dishes. Both Brave Bream and Shalman were a hit. The satisfied smiles of the people were evidence of this. But, as all good things must come to an end, so too did the feast. Despite the mountain of fish we started with, not a single fillet was left. I turned to the Fisher God, a gleam in my eye. And though he just admitted defeat, his eye held the same twinkle. You want a race to see who can get this place spick and span quicker? We were no longer rivals. We were brothers of the rod. And this little competition would tide us over till our next real match. We were shopping at Sierro's when the merchant herself popped up from behind the counter. Apparently she'd been waiting on us, ready to share the latest sea-worthy gossip.
A certain rumor swam earlier this month. You see, people are saying there are 2 Fisher gods working this skydom. Would you know anything about that?
Vern and Lyria gasped in surprise before turning to give me a curious look.
Could it be?
You know, I never meant to keep making a name for myself, but old habits die hard, don't they? Sounds like quite the handsome fella. Can't wait to meet him.
When people ask me why I joined the society, I always give them the same answers. To get my hands on sick weapons, because the work was fun, and because I liked busting my butt and actually getting rewarded for it. Sure, the society talked a good game about spreading freedom and protecting the Sky Realm's peace, but it wasn't like I ever set out to be a hero. But hunting primal beasts with badass seal weapons? Sign me the hell up. Too bad there weren't enough weapons to go around. Only the best of the best become weapon contractors. Of course, I knew from the start I was contractor material. Wasn't long before I was making a pact with the Spear of Arves. What a hot little number. Now, did I feel bad for those who didn't make the cut? Yeah, a little. But I earned my position. And no one was gonna take that away from me. It wasn't about becoming rich or famous. It was about proving my worth. I don't like being undersold or underrated, you know? Best part was, as a weapon contractor, I had dibs on the deadliest missions. And those were perfect for showing everyone what I was made of. And damn, did the society have its fair share of enemies. The worst of which was an evil coalition we simply called the Foe, who only seemed to care about sowing chaos. As soon as I became a contractor, I was thrown into battle with the Foe. Talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. My orders were explicit. Eliminate on sight. There were some days when the bloodshed took its toll on me. But then I'd remind myself that these villains were out to wreck the skies. When I wasn't putting bad guys into the ground, I hunted primal beasts to gather their battle data. See, seal weapons aren't just good at taking down primals. They absorb their powers, too. That's what makes our vest so special. The more primals it crushes, the stronger it gets. Imagine how unstoppable I'll be once I supercharge this bad boy. So, to recap, my average work week looks like this. Slay foes and primals, get paid, then splurge all that cash on my days off. Look, if you're gonna work hard, you might as well play hard, right? Before I joined the society, I used to lead a group of knights. It was all fun and games, until the local lord tried to adopt me as his daughter. I never cared for social status, and I sure as hell didn't want to be tied down by expectations. My life, my reins. So I said so long to my compatriots. Was nice knowing ya. But if playing by my own rules was so important to me, then why'd I throw in with the captain's crew? Well, I didn't do it just for funsies. My master plan was to have the crew members join the society too, which would have bought me a ton of brownie points with the higher-ups. But journeying with the crew changed me. I met people from all walks of life, and I grew as a person. I started thinking I'd be better off following the crew instead of the society. I'm a natural-born fighter. Maybe I could put myself to better use elsewhere. Because honestly, becoming a contractor wasn't my main reason for seeking out the society. In the end, I just figured they were the organization that offered me the most freedom. So if it wasn't clear by now, I like doing things my way. Which brings me to a constant thorn in my side. Vasaraga, the annoying half of my two-man cell. Considering it was Drill Sergeant Ilsa who assigned us together, I figured she knew what she was doing. Yeah, no. Vasaraga and I gelled like oil and water. Did Ilsa really expect us to have good team chemistry? I think sticking him with me was an attempt to keep him from going off the deep end. Only later did I find out he'd been through some pretty traumatic events in his life. It scarred him, both physically and emotionally. Maybe that's why he can be borderline suicidal whenever someone else's life is at stake. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for helping people. I'm just saying it's 100% possible to play hero without throwing your life away. I remember this one time when we got trapped in a life-or-death situation because of his screw-up. You should have heard the rage I was spewing. Know what he did next? He apologized, which just felt out of character coming from him. Like, even though it was your fault we're in this mess, don't just throw in the towel, man. Ugh, it was so frustrating. Who knew that big lug could be so sensitive? On the flip side, I can't help but be honest. I like what I like, and I hate what I hate. I don't want anyone getting the wrong impressions about me. I might say things that ruffle a few feathers, but I stand by my words. I can't take back what I've already said. Anyway, I'd rather be true to myself than be something I'm not. That's just the kind of gal I am. It was good to be back in Seed Hollow after wrapping up another easy-peasy mission. Since my schedule was empty, I decided to hit up a cute little cafe for some much-deserved cake.
Hello there!
Some little kid I've never seen before walked right up to me, his eyes twinkling with starstruck awe. He got down on one knee and said,
Will you marry me?
Was this kid for real? Did he even know what he was asking? You've got guts, little man. Tell you what, come find me in a decade or so, and then maybe we'll talk. I thought a gentle rejection would get him off my back, but I was wrong.
If you walk away now, you'll be making the biggest mistake of your life.
I knew better than to take the bait, but I had to admit, I was sort of curious. Okay, hotshot, I'll bite. Why are you asking a total stranger like me to marry you? At least he had a good eye. Credit where credit's due.
Because
I know you're strong. You make stomping monsters look so easy. Oh, and you're really pretty too.
Well, what do you know? A sweet talker.
And your spear is wicked cool. How many monsters can you shish kebab with that thing?
I should have known. Boys love the heroic stuff. 10, 20? It doesn't matter. The real prize is in hunting primal beasts. Oh, wait, you guys don't call them that. I meant primeval gods. I've got a soft spot for children, especially the ones who hang on my every word. You try ignoring the adorable little scamps. In any case, it seemed clear that this boy was genuinely head over heels for me.
So, how about it? Will you marry me?
Nope.
Aw, come on.
Word of advice, don't spring a marriage proposal on an unsuspecting woman. Catch you later, little man. Maybe we'll chat some other time. I ruffled his hair and started walking off.
I'm not giving up.
The tyke knew how to dream big. If only a certain grumpy lug I knew had the same level of optimism.
Oh, hi, Azeda. Fancy running into you here. You're just as pretty as the first time we met.
I had started to wonder if I'd ever see the little heartbreaker again. Guess I got my answer. We talked for a bit, and I learned his name was Vaughn. I knew which question he wanted to pop, but I didn't have time to humor him today. A hospital in Seed Hollow was in dire need of medicinal ingredients, so it was off to Fondom for me and the crew.
Okay, gotcha. I understand.
Well, that was easy. Considering how he kept pestering me, I didn't expect him to be so reasonable.
I know better than to get in the way of your job. I am a little worried, but I'm sure the monsters won't give you any trouble.
You got that right. I eat monsters for breakfast. Aw, how sweet. The little doodlebug had total faith in me.
Stay safe out there. Come back in one piece.
I will. As I left to meet up with the crew, I made a mental note to pick up a souvenir for my biggest little fan. Sweet. I think that's everything on the list.
Good, 'cause this heat's killing me. Let's get back to the ship. What the?
Holy! The sign this place is ready to blow sky high.
Well, I'm not sticking around to find out. Let's keep moving.
Being boiled alive is bad enough. Now I gotta deal with wyverns?
I think the ground's sinking into the magma.
What? Screw these flying lizards! Where's the exit? Ow, fuck! Can't go that way. Just grab ingredients, they said. It'll be easy, they said. This bites.
Fire spirit!
I'm sorry I ever set foot in this oven. Infinite wonder! Got him! If we can get to that higher ground over there, that should lead us back outside.
Can you pick up the pace? The magma's rising even faster!
Teamwork makes the dream work.
You said it.
we're safe here. Maybe.
Man, I really worked up a sweat. At least we didn't lose anyone.
Grand Cypher's just up ahead. Come on!
Ah!
What are the odds of bumping into a golem in here?
Who knew I had so many fervent fans? Thanks for making a gal feel loved. And to show my appreciation, I'm gonna turn you to scrap. Got him! Infinite wonder!
Here's my way to punch that! Take that sucker down!
That's the plan. One pile of rubble coming right up. Okay, this definitely qualifies for hazard pay. Oh, who am I kidding? Probably won't even see an extra rupee. Say your prayers! Hey, what's this? A piece of rock from the golem? I like the way it glitters. Might make a neat souvenir for a certain someone I know. Well, not bad for a day's work.
Welcome back, Zeta!
Vaughn was the first person to greet me when I returned to Seed Hollow. He ran over to me like an overexcited puppy. Here, I got you a little something for being good.
Whoa! This rock is crazy! It's all shiny and stuff!
I'm a pro at picking out gifts, if I do say so myself. After all, what kid isn't mesmerized by shiny objects? Vaughn wouldn't stop thanking me. I honestly didn't think he'd like it that much. But in this case, I was happy to be wrong.
It's amazing how you made it out of Fondom without a scratch! You're a one-woman wrecking crew!
Can't argue with the truth.
Anyway, it's cool that you're being nice to me, but I don't mind when you play hard to get either.
Huh? The nerve of this kid.
Are you blushing?
What? His confidence was respectable. Admirable, even. But seriously, get real, little man. Talking to you makes my head spin.
Does that mean you're falling for me?
No, it means I'm worried about your future. Years from now, Vaughn's gonna be breaking hearts left and right. Mark my words.
Come to view the requests?
Hey there, Zeta! So glad I caught you again.
How did he always know when I was in Seed Hollow? He was clueless to his clinginess, and it was testing my patience.
Are you free today? I was thinking we could go on a picnic.
I mulled it over for a bit. A picnic didn't sound half bad. It was a nice day, after all.
Oh no. Is this a bad time?
His puppy dog eyes bore into my soul. How could I say no to that? Kids just have this way of triggering your protective instincts. Not to mention they can be terrifyingly perceptive. You know what? The weather's great today. So, count me in. His face lit up with joy, and I turned to my next important decision. What to have for lunch. I didn't have to think too hard about that. When it came to picnics, sandwiches were the only way to go.
This must be the lad I've heard so much about.
A few days earlier, I was in the ship's lounge telling the captain about Vaughn when Vasaraga happened to walk in. So he ended up learning about the kid, too. He listened without saying much. Never was the talkative type, anyway.
Hi, mister. I'm Vaughn.
I half expected Vaughn to cower from Vasaraga, but instead the boy dropped a friendly hello. Maybe he had a strict upbringing.
Call me Vasaraga.
Vasaraga looked at me, then at Vaughn, then back at me again. What did he want?
So that's how it is. Here, Zeta. Take these.
I peeked into the bag he gave me and did a double take. It was stuffed with fruit sandwiches.
These come highly recommended by Vern, Lyria, and the captain. You should split them with Vaughn.
For the both of us. Huh. Call me crazy, but it almost sounded like he went out of his way to buy these for us. I rummaged through the goods and caught sight of one sandwich stuffed with melon slices and another with peaches. Nice. Those are my favorites. Hey, great pickups, Vasaraga. Can't wait to scarf these down.
Go for it.
Cha-ching! Jackpot! Vaughn and I said our goodbyes to Vasaraga, and we found an open bench in a park just outside the city.
You look really happy. Are you a big fruit fan?
I was jamming an ungodly amalgamation of fruit, bread, and whipped cream into my face. I think that counts as a yes. Yeah, more or less. I like anything as long as it's tasty.
Ah, that's good to know.
There was no chance in hell Vasaraga picked out these cute sandwiches all by himself. Absolutely none. Someone in the crew must have tagged along. The thought of him stomping through the aisles of a shop filled with cupcakes and cookies drew a chuckle out of me.
So, are you and Vasaraga an item?
Are we an item? Gross! Is that what it looks like to you? Look, he's just my coworker. I'm kind of stuck with him.
Uh-huh.
He opened his mouth as if he had more to say, but I guess he changed his mind. We ended up having a fascinating chat about bugs instead.
Good afternoon, Zeta! It's always nice to see you.
It was another gorgeous day. Vaughn came bounding over to see me for like, what, the 100th time? Or maybe even millionth?
I wanted to give you something to say thanks for the souvenir you got me. I hope you like it.
He held out a beautifully wrapped box, its sides emblazoned with the logo of a world-class bakery. I didn't know what to say. Kids ought to be spending their lunch money on cheap snacks, not fancy pants pastries. Are you sure you want me to have this? How could you even afford this with pocket change?
Don't you know it's discourteous to appraise the worth of one's gift?
How do you know big words like that?
Papa told me.
Oh, great. Don't tell me he got his family involved.
I wanted to show you how much I care, so I saved up my allowance. Zero Carte helped me pick a shop that's popular with girls.
Vaughn stared at the ground as he spoke, stealing an occasional glance at me to gauge my reaction. He had put his feelings out there in the only way he knew how, and it was all coming to a head. In a situation like this, I had to be firm yet considerate. I could never live with myself if I trampled over his heart, even if I didn't mean to.
I thought for sure you'd like it. I guess I was wrong.
He kicked at the dirt, still unwilling to meet my gaze. Wow, as if I didn't feel guilty enough already. What are you talking about? This is an awesome gift. Thank you. As soon as I said that, his toothy smile came roaring back with a vengeance. But from now on, you can't give me any more presents.
Why not?
In one fell swoop, he turned my words against me. Poor boy was on the verge of tears. His voice quivered as he explained his intent. He had seen how delighted I was with Vasaraga's gift of sandwiches, and all he wanted was to deliver that same joy. Oh, you sweet darling boy. You've got a lot to learn, but your heart's in the right place. I'd hate to leave you jaded. I decided that honesty was the best course of action. No more tiptoeing around the issue. It's a lovely gift, but I'm worried you're not eating enough to grow big and strong. That's why I want you to spend your money on snacks for yourself, okay?
Okay, got it.
Way to go, Zeta. So much for being upfront with him. I'm glad you understand. Now why don't we dig into this yummy treat together?
Sure, I'd be happy to feed you.
Why, you conniving little... My hands work just fine, thank you very much.
Phooey. From now on, I'm gonna prove that we're meant for each other.
The talk I had with Vaughn yesterday only intensified his resolve. I asked him what he had in mind.
First, I'll get to know you better, Zeta.
A little late for that, but at least he was thinking in the right direction.
Let me see. Okay, first question. What's your type of guy?
Subtlety wasn't Vaughn's strongest point. How to be compatible with your partner is something you should figure out for yourself.
Huh? But I don't know how to do that. It's faster just to ask.
This kid.
Do you like strong guys?
You could say that. I prefer someone who knows how to fend for themselves. Means I don't have to worry about them as much.
Well, that's perfect then.
Vaughn stood up straight and tall and proudly puffed out his chest.
I'm still in the middle of sword training, but I'm the best out of all the kids in the class. Even the bigger ones.
Already outclassing the older kids, huh? Not bad, not bad. I wonder how I stacked up when I was his age.
Now do you love me?
Not even close.
Phooey.
His reactions cracked me up. There was never a dull moment with this kid.
There has to be a way for me to win your heart.
I'm sorry, but that was just too precious. I didn't mean to laugh, but his frustration caught me off guard. He was trying so hard against the odds to win me over. If we were around the same age, things might have been different.
I don't care about being precious. I care about you.
The more he sulked, the harder it became to hold in my giggles. Sorry. I patted his head in an attempt to lighten the mood, but he wasn't having it. Bahamut saved me. This kid was so sweet he was gonna give me cavities. The air in Seed Hollow that morning was electric. I hadn't felt that amped up in a good while. Time to get this show on the road.
Roger that.
Vasaraga had met up with me right on schedule. I sucked in a lungful of the morning chill to calm my nerves.
Good morning, Zeta. Good morning, Vasaraga.
Morning. You're up awfully early today.
Where are you guys going?
He must have sensed something big was in the works. The concern in his voice was clear as day. A couple of rough customers challenged us to a serious fight.
I want to come too. Can I please?
It wasn't like him to try to tag along. He knew better than that. No can do, little man. This isn't a game.
But I've been practicing my sword swings every day. I can help you beat them.
Of all the days he could have picked to be fussy, why did it have to be today?
Sparring and actual combat are worlds apart. Pride goeth before destruction.
It was obvious from the frown on Vaughn's face that he wasn't going to take no for an answer. I need you to be good and listen to us, all right? We left Vaughn behind and made a beeline for Seed Hollow Castle. We stepped into its great hall, where Magliel and her sword veil were already waiting.
Allow me to extend my utmost gratitude for taking the time to indulge my invitation.
Can the formalities. I came here to throw down, not listen to boring speeches.
I didn't think the castle would be okay with us doing battle within its walls.
Well, no one else was using the hall. Let's just say those who helped with the castle's restoration are afforded special privileges.
This woman, for all her pomp and circumstance, was no joke of a warrior.
I was curious as to whether your weapons are deserving of their legend. My fellowship prides itself with collecting only the most prized armaments.
Ha! I knew there had to be more to this call-out.
I'll get straight to the point. We are interested in purchasing your seal weapons. Allow me to appraise their performance during our little skirmish.
In other words, she was making us an offer we couldn't refuse. Even though this isn't a fight to the death, don't come crying to me when you get your asses handed to you. Magliel didn't respond. She simply smirked and an arsenal of magic swords materialized around her. I tightened my grip on our vest and took a deep breath. I thought back to all the times Vasaraga and I had cheated death. It made me feel invincible. This victory belonged to us.
Let's do this, Zeta.
Hell yeah! The words were barely out of my mouth before I was leaping into the fray.
Magliel, commander of the Sword Veil. To arms! Now then, may I have the first dance?
Say what you will about her, but she's got plenty of style.
Don't get distracted. She's no ordinary foe.
Let the rain fall! Now it's on! Come on, our best!
Go ahead. Give us a touch.
Keep up!
Gracium!
Keep up!
There's a flesh wound.
Close call.
All right, then.
Are we having fun?
Infinite wonder! Got him!
That didn't do much.
Because your magic swords play offense and defense. We need to smash him! Oh yeah! Close call. Rain of fury!
You're performing marvelously.
Oh really? I haven't even gotten started yet.
That makes two of us. Now that we've limbered up,
Over here.
let's say we
Come
ratchet
on.
up the tempo.
Bring it! Over here, idiot!
Run quickly now.
Yeah! Oh yeah! Infinite
You could do this all day.
Infinite wonder! Sure got him!
Good.
Show him who's boss! One more! Now it's on! Let the rain fall!
Please, allow us to assist!
Stand down. I will not tolerate such shameful tactics.
Hey, if they want in, don't skin off my back. That way we can really cut loose.
All right, then. Your words, not mine. Behold, the quintessence of the sword fails.
Just my luck.
Infinite! Now it's on. Got him!
Prepare yourself.
Come on, our bad infinite one! Oh yeah!
Parting gift.
No place to hide!
I grow weary of this course. Heed me. Glorious weapons of yore. To battle! Honor forged by storm. Mjolnir!
Jerk! Close call!
Arrested from demons. Rainbow! Stave carved by divinity. Odysseus!
If only I could have held out a bit longer. What a shame.
Nah, you put up a good fight.
Sharpened
I'm
by
down to
legend.
spar again anytime. Infinite wonder! Got him!
Stage is set for the big bang.
Let the rain fall!
All right, then.
Skyfarer battles are amazing! Hold on, Fawn? What are you doing here?
I'm sorry. I couldn't stop worrying about you.
This situation is vexing, to say the least. Everyone, make sure no harm comes to the boy.
Yes,
One
milady.
more! One more! Bring it!
Go ahead.
Our best! Over here! Bring it! Over here! Infinite wonder! Infinite wonder! Let's kick their ass! Come on!
Eclipsed in crimson.
No place to hide! Keep up! On it! Has no equal! We're on it! Chaos detonation!
We'll do more than
Don't
that.
mind if I do! Jump it!
You
Break the limit!
Nearly time for the curtain to fall.
So, you're starting to feel it too, huh?
My. Aren't you too ready to throw in the towel?
What a joke! If you want to test me, then let's go!
Hook, line, and sinker.
Let us begin. Weapons of yours. I invite you to dance.